works. Okay.
Okay, so we are live. All
Awesome.
right. All right. Welcome, everybody. My name is Thomas Fujii. This is my second podcast, and I'm glad to introduce Leslie McIntosh. And we are both participants in the Project Forward that PACE is conducting right now. And our homework is to interview people or have a conversation, as I like to say, with fellow participants. So, Leslie, thank you for jumping on impromptu. And
Absolutely.
it's a pleasure to chat with you today. Thank you so much.
Same here, man. My first
Right.
podcast ever. So, you're
Oh, sweet. And you're doing it live.
you're 100%
Dude, that's
man.
awesome. Sweet. Now look at you, got me all grinning and smiling,
right?
ready to go. All right. So let's just jump right on into it. So, Wes, you're in real estate. And from our conversation before, you were in the oil industry and all that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and what you did before real estate?
Sure. So I started off a little bit of oil and gas, doing some CAD drafting. Always been interested in IT. So then kind of jumped out of that one and focused on IT. So cybersecurity in the last 25 years or so. Sales in the last part of that, last 8 years have been in sales engineering. So, and I've been focused on a bigger pockets fan for a long time. And I know real estate's where you build generational wealth. And the day job helps drive that. So it's been a side hustle for a little bit, for quite a while. And I've been more focused on it recently. So, but that's where I come from. So network security,
Cool.
Anything that used to say Cisco on it used to be my bailiwick, but
I love Cisco stock, by the way.
there you go. It keeps working. Their firewalls, especially. I was a big firewall guy, so.
Okay, good. All right. So you do that's your W-2 was with the oil and everything like that. Now it's IT security, and so what made you actually start and jump into real estate before it was a side hustle for you? What made you do that?
My granddad used to buy houses and fix them up, and then move to the next one and fix them up. I think my parents and their family, my dad's side, I think they moved like 50 times in 50 years, kind of thing. So he would just go buy one and say, "We're moving," So I kind of had a little bit of that in the blood in the background, I think. But no, I kept the first house I ever bought. I kept it, I rented it for 10 years as part of the process, and then I've been bigger pockets follower for a long time, and it was time to take some action. So I bought one, bought it, lived in it for a year, rented it out, bought another one. And so I've done it a few times now and got a few under my belt that way. So that was my driver, my background on that side.
No, that you're on your first and second one. I'm pretty sure you probably ran into some difficulties on your first one. What were the major things that you learned on your first project that you did in real estate?
So that was a house we lived in for 10 years, and then I rented it for another 10 after that. So I knew it was a solid house, solid bones. What I learned in that was not everything that was working as normal continues doing that. The first big thing I had was the AC had a little sump pump built into it, which worked fine the 10 years we were there, and then I don't know, 3 months into renting it out, it decided to fail and then leak all over the carpet, and had to go clean it all up and then put a new pump in, and then it did it again, like in another, I don't know, a couple of years later. I'm like, really? So,
oh, geez.
So, things happen. It wasn't a big deal, I just, go do some steam clean carpet, but little things.
Did you do the repair yourself, or did you hire it out? Or
I did back then. Yeah, I did it all back then.
All right, cool.
I don't do that anymore, but that's what I did back then.
Yeah, same with me. There's some things I'll do that I know how to do and I feel comfortable doing. So I'll do it myself. Right. But if it's something where I'm not too familiar with, I don't want to mess anything up and cause more damage. So I'll hire it out and have it done that way. So.
Well, part of my process has been trying to figure out the whole engaging with contractors and things like that, right? Because I'm not scalable. If I'm doing all the work, I'm not scalable. So my goal has been a bigger pockets follower for years, is to finally get in there and take some action. And so that's why I bought and then hired out the work, even though I could have done it, after hours and stuff like that. I still hired out the work. I've got a property manager in place for all my short-term rentals. So
Right.
nobody calls me unless it's a major thing. So, and
Right.
we have that going on right now too. So,
Cool. Cool. That's good. That's good that you're scaling up,
Yeah.
and it's probably left a lot of stress off of your shoulders,
Yeah.
and put it on someone else's to take care of. So that's pretty cool. That you're
Absolutely.
scaling in the business that you're doing on your side hustle. So, um, so as in real estate now, what are your focuses in real estate? I mean, what exactly are you doing in real estate besides renting out your house and getting another one and renting it out? What else are you doing in real estate?
Right. So, being a Bigger Pockets follower, I stumbled into PACE and the Subject 2 piece probably a couple years ago now. And so I saw that's a game changer. So it was like high on my list, but W-2 job, remodeling condos, I just didn't have time for it, right? Trying to have a life on top of that. And then recently I've gotten a spot where I've had some time. So that's when I jumped in from that process. So I've been able to get in and learn a lot, right, about the Subject 2 piece. I'm doing it with real estate. I just started the protege course with Dealmaker on the business side as well. So we're looking at businesses, and I'm also in the Gator group, right? So I'm also doing the creative financing as well. So lots of knowledge right now, right? And I've got a Sub 2 deal in the process, and I got a Gator deal in the process, and I'm ready to start buying businesses too.
Cool.
But I mean that's really the big thing, was just kind of getting into that and running with it and getting it figured out. So
right. Well, cool. That's good to know. Now you're learning as you go and you're taking action.
Right.
Was there any things that you were kind of hesitant to do along your journey? And if so, what were they?
Absolutely. My biggest thing initially, what took me so long to take action, was just trying to figure out how I wanted to set up the corporate
you cut out there, Les.
Oh,
there we go. You're back. Okay, cool.
So yeah, the biggest thing initially was just trying to figure out the corporate structure. I was like, kind of fumbling around with it, because I always want to try to feel like I've got a plan, and then make sure the plan's decent, and then ask 20 questions about the plan, and then go execute. Is my MO, be on the engineering side. But finally they started saying, hey, just go take action and figure it out, so that's what I finally did. And then I just, bought the one and took over from there. So now I'm up to 4, working to rent out the house I've got here as well, by the room. So that's my MO, is where I'm going with it, and go buy another one.
Cool. So, in the message that you sent over earlier, there was one that kind of stuck out to me. I'm kind of curious on this question for you.
Okay.
What are the 4 books that you've read that are really influential for your journey?
It had to be Rich Dad Poor Dad to start with, right?
Right.
That's just kind of the mindset changing from from the employee to the owner section.
Mm-hmm.
The Burr strategy, house hacking, was a big one. It was a Bigger Pockets one. There was another one, Millionaire Fastlane, I think, by DeMarco. I think it's his last name. That was a really good one. And then, I finally went back and read, seems like it was a long time coming. Let me think about it here. I can picture it in my mind. I'm gonna have to go look it up. But there is a 4th one here. It's about financing. The Richest Man in Babylon. That was a really good read, on focusing on putting your money in the right places and becoming that person. So those were all very influential for where I'm at now. I mean, I've listened to a whole bunch of others too, but that's kind of the 4 that I like the best right now. So
right.
And it's hard to pick with so many, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a few on my bookshelf behind me, and that I need to get to. And one of them is Go Giver, and I need to finish reading Emotional Intelligence as well.
I think I read that one actually. It's been a while, but yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
it was Getting Things Done book that took me forever.
Yeah, it's a really small font, right? No.
I finally downloaded the audiobook so I could finish it on my road trips. So there you go.
Yeah, I may have to do that as well. Cool. So, just a couple more questions. You mentioned you're in the protege program or something like that.
Yes.
And I'm understanding that's something about acquiring businesses. Is my correct?
Yeah. So
Can you tell us about that a little bit?
absolutely. It's with Carl Allen. He
Mhm.
leads it. Him and Chris Moore, Pace and Abraham are both part of that as well. So
Okay.
initially, I saw them advertising the Dealmaker Weekend in New Jersey last June. So I signed up and went to that using my travel points, to get there, and that was a game changer for me. I mean, being in the room with 200 like-minded people, all trying to get the same direction. A lot of people were in sub two. They're all, a lot of them are buying, multifamily, single family, stuff like that too. So
All right.
made a lot of great contacts. That's where I got my sub two deal, was at a lunch, sitting at lunch talking to somebody. So that's where that one's coming from, and made some really great friends out of that deal too. So
Cool.
mhm.
Cool. Now, what advice can you give some of the listeners or people that are going to watch the replay? What advice do you have them if they're new into the real estate, and if they're experienced? Maybe you can give them some pointers. What would they be?
Well, you've got to take action. Consult with people that that have the experience as well. Try to get as much knowledge as you can there, and don't be afraid to partner. Right. The challenge I've always had is I always want to do things myself, but I got to four houses, and I'm just like, I can't seem to get past this, and that's where subject two came in. And if I JV, the mindset change that I had to make was, okay, yeah, maybe it's only 50% of the deal, but if we can take this deal and then scale it up 1.5, 2.5 times, I'm still going to get 100%, right? Kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
and then if I can go do 10 deals versus just one at a time, even though I'm only getting 50% of each or whatever that happens to be, again, it's more scalable from that perspective. So don't be afraid to partner, find that person, and make that happen.
All right. Cool. And if some of the people that are watching the replay or watching the live, and they want to get a hold of you, what's the best way that they can reach out to you?
Well, if you can see it back here somewhere, scan my blink.
Okay.
That's all my contact. I've got my Instagram there, LesMC007 as well. You can
Okay.
reach out to me there. Yeah, happy to contact and see how we can do business together.
All right. Cool. All right. That's
Awesome.
pretty much the time that we have, and I greatly appreciate you coming on and doing a live broadcast. And I'm honored and really happy that you're able to do that with me today. So thank you so
Appreciate
much.
that.
I'm honored.
Thanks, Thomas. Before we leave, though, what how can people reach out to you? I mean, clearly they've got your YouTube here.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
can they reach
You can reach me a few different ways. On Instagram, I am at Thomas Fujii, Fujii, and my YouTube channel is at Thomas Fujii 9936. If you want to send an email, you can send it to info@propertysolutionssystems.com, and then you can get a hold of me on Facebook. At Thomas Fujii, Fujii.
Awesome. Cool.
So,
All right. Appreciate your time so much, man.
all right. And give me 1 second here. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in and watching the replay. And we'll see you on the flip side. Thank you so much.